Holy tzaddikim and tzaddikot. Hope everybody had an amazing week. I hope you had an incredible Pesach. Really was very, very special to be able to spend it with friends and family. Really, it was incredible to be here in the Holy Land. I hope you guys as well. Okay, we are in the middle of Sfirat Omer. We are counting the Omer all the way up to Shavuot, coming up in just about 38 days or so, 39 days, give or take. And Sfirat Omer, as you can see, the beard is coming in. So there are laws about shaving and haircuts and live music and not to have big celebrations, etc. And we remember the loss of 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva, and how people were not nice enough to each other. And so we should do our best during this time to be as nice as we can to each other, to be as kind, as sensitive, as caring to each other. Okay, we have this week Parshat Shemini. We have a rare occasion because Sefer Vayikra, which we find ourselves in, has very little storyline. Most of the things that happen in Sefer Vayikra are descriptions of the Korbanot, right? And Baruch Hashem, I've actually learned so much more about Korbanot from my children. My children go to a school, and in much of my son Mordechai, who's in third grade, is learning all about Korbanot, and my other boys who have already been, they learn so much about Korbanot. But this week, Parshat Shemini, there's other things going on besides for Korbanot. Not just, we have the famous story of Aaron's two sons, 2 out of the 4, Nadav and Avihu. That was a yummy appearance right there. Nadav and Avihu, who were killed by God after bringing a korban that was not accepted. And we also have the laws of kosher in this week's parsha. I want to speak just for a second about what happened with Nadav and Avihu. Okay, Aaron HaKohen has 4 sons: Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, and Itamar. Okay, and the parsha starts off with the inauguration of the Mishkan. Vahi b'yom hashmini, on the 8th day, the Mishkan is officially in use. Mazal tov. Great news. Nadav and Avihu bring a korban, but the korban is not accepted by God. An eish zara, right? They themselves are consumed by a fire, Nadav and Avihu, and are killed by God. It's unclear exactly what it is that they did wrong and why their korban was not accepted and why they deserve to die. Why they deserve to die from God. There's many commentaries as to what it is. I don't even want to focus on that. What I really want to focus on is what the Torah says happens right afterwards. Right after the 2 sons, you can imagine the moment, right? 2 of the Kohanim, the major Kohanim, Nadav and Avihu, Aaron's sons, are bringing this korban, right? And God decides that what they did was not proper. For whatever reason, maybe they brought the korban when they weren't supposed to. They took the liberty of doing whatever they wanted instead of doing what they were told. There are different explanations. Says the pasuk, Vayidom Aaron. Aaron was silent. His response was silence. And it's like, whoa, that is some response. Aaron doesn't say he was crying or wailing. It doesn't say that he was screaming or yelling. It doesn't say that he was broken. He was silent. And I think Aaron, the chief Kohen, the Kohen Gadol, is actually teaching us and trying to teach us a lesson for all of time. In that moment, you can imagine that he has every right to just fall apart as a person or maybe proclaim his anger towards God. But Aaron, in that moment, as broken as he was, he decided that he wanted to teach the Jewish people a lesson. Not the Jewish people at the moment, not just them, but all of us. That throughout our lives, there will be situations that are extremely difficult to handle. There will be situations that are simply incomprehensible. Things that are just impossible for us to understand. Things that deserve the question of why? Why, God? Why would you do something that seems to be so evil, seems to be so difficult? All of us are going to face situations like that. And Aaron HaKohen is teaching us that instead of focusing on the why God did you do this, instead Aaron HaKohen is teaching us to focus on our emunah, on our faith. You see, emunah doesn't mean when you figure out why Hashem is doing certain things. That's not what emunah is. Emunah is the concept of, I do not understand. I do not know. I have no clue. It doesn't make sense at all to me why God would choose to allow certain things to happen or to make things happen. Why? Why would God do this? Emunah is the concept of, I believe so much in the master of the universe that even though I don't understand his plan, I accept his plan as being exactly what is needed in this very moment. That's what it means to have emunah. I don't understand it, but I know that Hashem has my and our best interest in mind, even though it makes no sense to me. And that is something we are capable of doing. It's not something that happens naturally. It's not something that's easy, but it's something that we can work on, all of us. I was speaking with a student yesterday, one of the current students, about this exact point, right? That our job in this world when it comes to emunah is to really tap into a part of our connection with God that says, even though I don't understand you, I know that you love me. And what an incredible lesson. This lesson applies to us every moment. We're always going through something difficult. And always do we have an opportunity to say, Hashem, I trust you. I trust you. And Aaron's silence was a lesson for all of us. Of course he was hurt. Of course he was broken. But he didn't want anyone to think that feeling of being in pain and sorrow would mean that he's questioning God's intentions. You can have both at the same time. You can feel hurt, you can feel pain, and still believe, and still know deep inside your heart that Hashem loves you and He has your best interests in mind. Let us all live a life of emunah, real, true faith in the Almighty. Wishing all the holy tzaddikim and tzaddikot Shabbat Shalom.